Today in the squeeze, Uber in Syracuse, millennials, first big vote, and 1983 high school graduate that predicted a Cubs World Series run.
Candy, candy, and you guessed it, more candy. But what steps can be taken to clean up your health before the holiday season hits?
And London is calling. Syracuse University study abroad ambassador explains everything there is to do in the rainy city.
All that and more here on Juice and Java. A good morning to you, Syracuse. It's 11 a.m. in the east and 8 a.m. in the west. I'm Jeff Slawson, today dressed as America's hero, Ken Bone.
And I'm Kayla Spector, today dressed as the king of the jungle, Jeff's words, thank you. And as you can see behind us, we both look very authentic.
I think the mustache is what really wins me over.
Yeah, you know, I'm a South Lion, so it works. And now to some real news. Uber is coming to Syracuse, and with that, let's head over to the squeeze. And Uber came to Syracuse last Tuesday, but not for the reason that you may think. While they were still unable to offer rides in the upstate New York area, they did help administer flu shots to anyone with the Uber app. And by requesting the health option, the customer would receive a free care package and the flu shot for up to 5 different people. A nurse would travel to your location to administer the flu shot. And this was a one-day only offer, but this is Uber's third year administering flu shots, as they have done this in different cities like Boston and Chicago. So do you think it's kind of ridiculous that they're offering flu shots, but they won't give rides to people?
Well, I understand that it's New York legislation and everything, and spending the summer in New York, you get to see that Uber is unbelievable. And being college students, I think we benefit so strongly from having Uber here. So yeah, I wish that we could use the actual service instead of a flu shot service, because I don't even get my flu shot. So I just don't think I'd be using that. Have you used the flu shot service or anything?
I didn't, and now we can't because it was only offered for one day. So maybe next year I will.
So it's kind of giving you a joke of like, this is Uber, but you can only use it limitedly, right?
Yeah.
I guess. And making sure you don't invalidate your ballot with a selfie this election season. At least 18 states have laws against posting selfies with your ballots online, and consider doing so a misdemeanor. While New York does have a law prohibiting you from showing your ballot to anyone in person, you are still allowed to share photos of your ballots. Many people are opposed to these laws, saying that if they want to express pride about voting on social media, they should be able to. Now, did you see that Justin Timberlake posted a photo of him filling out his ballot?
I did. It seems to become pretty controversial because it is such an issue, and a lot of people are taking pictures with their ballots this year because of what the election is like. So I saw the picture. I thought it was pretty funny.
Obviously they love Justin Timberlake in Tennessee, so he can do no wrong. So I know people there were like, it's okay. We're very proud that he started to vote, but I mean, you're taking a picture. The issue has been, is it against freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
And I understand if you don't want it once it's filled out, but while you're doing your ballot, I don't see any problem in taking a selfie.
I don't see a problem in taking it, but I guess it's the way you publicize it. If then you're sharing it on social media and sharing it with everyone, then how can you really do that?
Right.
And together, millennials and baby boomers make up about 31% of the population this election, but many millennials are feeling less than thrilled to vote. Disappointed in both candidates, and they feel as though this is a depressing first election to vote in. Dahl Davis, an 18-year-old independent from North Carolina, said he will be voting for Hillary Clinton, but he isn't very happy about it. However, Devin Leisure, a young Republican from Florida, said she would be voting for Donald Trump. So this has been a very controversial and crazy election year.
Yep.
And I think it's just crazy that it keeps on going. Things just keep coming up in the media.
I mean, we're going to be hitting on this in the next segment, obviously, but this is just insane. You know, we're 10 days out, and people are still kind of bickering, and it's very much so like along party lines, I guess, right now. And we have 2 candidates that are very unfavored by people in their own party and opposite parties. It's just insanity. And this being our first election,
I know.
I don't know. I've been hearing people say they're sorry that this is our first election, but this is going to be a very important election, I feel like.
You know, this is actually my second election that I'm allowed to vote in, but even so, for people our age, it's still very, very hard to figure out.
Right, well, like you're saying, it's for most, and they're trying to decide, and I guess when you have two strong candidates, as in you could consider 2012, it was very nice because you could pick people that you thought were capable of being president, but some people consider neither of these candidates, willing to. So it's so interesting, and I can't even, I don't know, just going to be a very interesting Tuesday, I guess. And back with politics, Megyn Kelly and Newt Gingrich headed out Tuesday night on a TV segment on Fox News. Gingrich accused Kelly of attacking Donald Trump to get media attention and that she was fascinated with sex and didn't care about public policy. Kelly responded by saying she was fascinated with the protection of women. Gingrich also tried to get Kelly to call Bill Clinton a sexual predator, a trick Kelly did not fall for. Trump congratulated Gingrich the following day for having an amazing interview. We have seen this probably every single day of this election. So it's been, a year and a half, almost 2 years of dealing with this?
But we've also seen almost every day new emails are apparently coming out about from Hillary Clinton. So for both of the candidates, everything.
We're 10 days away.
I know.
We're 10 days away, and we're still dealing with bickering between a Fox News analyst and a Trump surrogate, and we're still dealing with all. It's unbelievable. It's a circus right now. It really is.
It's gotten out of hand. It's gotten a little crazy, and I'm a little excited to see what happens when we actually vote and the results come back, because everything, it seems to be up in the air.
I love politics, but I am so excited for this to be over. I cannot wait until we can all just stop talking about the two of them bickering back and forth and who said what last.
I think everyone is. And the iPhone 7 was not Apple's only surprise for 2016. They had a special event Thursday on their Cupertino campus where they announced some new products. Apple announced a new MacBook Pro that features a new touch bar at the top of the keyboard that changes automatically depending on what you're working on. And they also added new features to Apple TV that lets you see all your movies and TV shows from multiple apps in one place. But perhaps one of their more important announcements was that they are working to make products so that everyone, even people with disabilities, can use them. So I think this is a good thing. I think we've come into a more inclusive society, and I think that it's good that Apple is trying to revamp themselves so that they can really reach a bigger audience.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think Apple unveiling anything is really cool too, but I think that they're focusing on disability is something interesting, and I haven't seen, at least from what I can remember, any other tech company really stressing that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool thing, and going along with them improving their MacBook Pro, I feel like they've kept everything very similar for years, so this is going to be really cool.
It'll be really cool to see a completely new kind of laptop. Everything we do now is just based on technology, so now to have another thing to look forward to and another thing to use, it'll be really fun.
Do you think you'd get the new MacBook Pro?
I think eventually when I need a new laptop, but I'm not going to get rid of mine anytime soon.
Right, it's not like with the new iPhone when you don't really need the new phone, but you're like, it looks nice and pretty,
so
I might as well get the new one. You're not going to do that with a laptop, I guess,
exactly.
right? Yeah, so I don't know, I might get it if it's cool enough, but my MacBook Pro is still working obviously fine, so there's really no need.
So why get a new one?
Right, so I guess that's really something that they struggle with. Exactly, yeah. Now to some of my favorite things. Sports. Michael Lee, a Chicago resident and Cubs fan, predicted back in 1993 that the Cubs would win the 2016 World Series. His prediction came in his high school yearbook underneath his senior photo. He said that he had a vivid dream about the scenario when he was a kid and just decided to make it a senior quote. Lee said he is very excited to watch the Cubs play in the series this year. I can't predict anything. I might be the worst person at predicting things, so this is ridiculous.
Do you believe that people can actually predict things like that, though? Like, he said he had a dream and predicted it from that. Do you think it's real?
I had a dream that I was going to do the costume, and then I guess it came to me, so anything can happen. I don't think it's a dream. I think the kid was just saying, hey, 2016 will be the year, because the Cubs haven't won since 1908.
But how ironic that he chose this year.
Right,
why
and
didn't he choose 2015 or 2017?
So you think that it was an actual dream?
I think it was. I would believe him. He said it was a dream, so I'm sure he somehow came up with it.
Well, now
I don't know if it was a random
he's
guess.
getting media attention, he's going to be saying all of that, and he's going to say, oh, I knew this was going to happen. It was a blind guess. I'm guessing there are other yearbooks out there that say like 2012 was going to be the year, 2013 was going to be the year. So
you think another random person guessed in their senior yearbook quote that a year was going to be the year that someone wins the World Series?
Cubs fans are nuts, and they haven't won in a while. I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a lifelong Bills fan, and I would never do that because I know it's not very realistic to happen. But I think the Cubs fans are crazy enough to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was your senior quote? Something predicting anything?
You know, I don't remember having senior quotes in my yearbook. To be honest, I don't remember what mine was. Did you have one?
I tried to be super inspirational, and I don't think it worked to inspire anyone. So.
All right. Well, after the break,
you've heard of a state bird, but have you ever thought of your state candy? KJ Vaughn will join us to see your state's favorite sweet treat.
Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Halloween is just 3 days away, and the store shelves are just about cleared of candy.
They mad?
But stores in some states may be missing. Tell us more. Let's bring it, KJ. Come on.
Yes. So there was a study done in 2015, so it's a year late. You know, they had to gather the results, and they went around and they got 40,000 participants that voted in or that polled in this, and they ranked their top candy for the states. So they had a list, obviously, and then number one on each of every 50 state, and that's what I have here. So I didn't do all 50 states. That would have taken a while. Don't worry, guys.
We need a couple seconds. For that,
A
yeah.
couple seconds for that. So what I've got here is my favorite candy, not my favorite, but the state of Michigan where I'm from.
Okay.
That candy, your state of New York, the number one candy in that state. Your state of New Jersey, which is the same as one of our producers, Nikki, that will have as well. And then our other producer, Emma, of her state. And then the last one is the top candy that was rated number one in most states.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it's a little game.
This has got to be a disaster.
So here's what we got. We've got the first one is Sweet Tarts, just the general candy themselves. So we'll go here. And if you guys want to just lay them out, you guys can guess later.
Perfect.
Tootsie Rolls.
I'm a fan of Tootsie Rolls.
Not a fan. I got some
I
Sour
feel like
Patch
that's a
Kids.
controversial candy.
Not bad. Tootsie Rolls. Controversial candy, Ken Bones.
You heard it here first.
We got some candy corn. This is very seasonal right now, of course.
Halloween, it's perfect.
And then the last two are a little smaller, but still I have a Butterfinger and an M&M.
All right. So we should get to guessing then?
Yes, let's get to guessing.
All right. New York, I'm going to guess Butterfinger. What do you think?
I think candy corn.
I'll just agree for the sake of agreeing. Candy corn for New York.
Tootsie Roll for New Jersey.
Agreed. Michigan has to be M&M's.
What other states do
I
we
don't
have?
We have New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
And North Carolina.
Oh, I'm going to say Sour Patch for North Carolina.
Okay.
Okay,
You haven't
and then-
mentioned Jersey yet, have you?
I
Or
did.
you
Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Roll and then
Tootsie Rolls.
Butterfinger for New Hampshire.
Okay. You guys actually, one was right. Jeff, the M&M in Michigan was right.
Okay.
It was New York with Sweet Tarts. New Hampshire was the Tootsie Roll. North Carolina was the Butterfinger. Jersey was the Sour Patch Kids. And the top overall vote getter was, of course, candy corn.
Candy
Because of the season. I'm a candy corn. It's good in a little bit.
Well, KJ, thank you. I proved that I know nothing about candy nationwide, so thank you, KJ. And our movie correspondent and resident expert from RKB Productions, Rebecca Brugge, has the top 4 movies to watch this Halloweekend. I'm terrified, so bring it on, Rebecca.
This is Rebecca Brugge, head of RKB Productions with your Halloween movie review. Let's get started, beauty queens and dancing machines. Number 1, Rosemary's Baby. This late 1960s classic is probably the cheapest birth control out there. No way is anyone going to want to get knocked up after seeing Mia Farrow become impregnated by Lucifer himself with the help of his satanic cult. Set in the city that never sleeps, you'll probably be losing some shut-eye after seeing this one. Second on the list is The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's classic horror hit. You like to travel? Well, get ready to never be able to stay in a hotel again. Jack Nicholson plays a character of the same first name who takes his family away to a secluded ski lodge where Jack, his wife, and son must live for the winter months. With the hotel's deadly haunting past, Jack soon goes mad, leaving his family to fend for themselves. A third addition to this list of terrifying tales is Heathers. This is the original Mean Girls, and anyone from the late 80s, early 90s era can attest to that fact. Nothing is more traumatizing than high school, but throw in some suicide murders and you've got yourself a frightening clique of girls. I thought Regina George had some great one-liners until I heard Heather Duke open her mouth. Get ready for croquet, matching outfits, and a whole lot of poison. Last, but certainly not least, if you can stomach it, we have the topper for your horror extravaganza viewing party. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. With the Peanuts crew learning the true meaning of Halloween, Linus must wait for the legend of the pumpkin to return. Can hope and friendship overcome ghouls and goblins? I guess you'll have to pop on your yellow and black zigzag sweater to find out. That's all for today. I hope your Halloweens are filled with flowing red Solo cups and empty chocolate bar wrappers. Stay safe, Cuse, and remember, the scariest thing of all is your midterm grade.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, I can't do scary movies, so I'll stick with Charlie Brown. And when we come back,
pumpkin picking and healthy eating. Find out where you can get a last-minute pumpkin and how to clean up your diet before the holiday season starts.
we'll see you right here in a minute.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. For our special Halloween show, I braved the rain and took a trip to Tim's Pumpkin Patch to show you what the best pumpkin picking in Syracuse has to offer. Let's take a look.
It all began with 200 pumpkin seeds.
So he planted the plants and they all grew, and now he was kind of like, all right, what should I do with the pumpkins?
That was in 1986 when Tim Lubner, the founder of Tim's Pumpkin Patch, was 17.
So his father said, why don't you just put them for $1 a piece out by the road and just see what happens? Well, all the pumpkins sold.
Over the next 30 years, Tim and Erica grew their original 200 plants into a 63-acre farm called Tim's Pumpkin Patch.
So 1986 to 1998, it was pretty much just a farm stand. And so we grew it from a farm stand to more of a destination agritainment.
Now, according to the Syracuse New Times, it's the #1 pumpkin patch in Syracuse. A covered barn is home to cows, pigs, and even a peacock, while a gift shop houses all sorts of exciting fall treats.
We had a great time!
Farming isn't all that Erica knows. With a master's in social work from Syracuse University, she found a way to tie her degree to her farming as a social worker for farmers throughout New York State.
I actually work on personal issues with farmers.
But in the fall, Erica works mainly through her phone. All the farmers are busy with their crops.
So I will be picking back up my caseload when they're done with their crops, for sure.
After spending my day at the pumpkin patch, I had one last question. Why pumpkins?
Pumpkins are happy, they're fun. So it was just kind of on a whim and it worked out.
Even in the midst of a thunderstorm, I had a great time at the pumpkin patch. It's located in Marietta, New York, about a 30-minute drive from the SU campus.
Thanks, Monique, and despite you getting lost for 35 minutes, I'm glad you made it back safe. And now we want to provide you with a little clarity in where school food comes from. With me, we have Felice Ramayo from Brain Feeders to give us some answers. So, Felice, if you could, explain to us what Brain Feeders is and what you guys are trying to do on campus.
So, Brain Feeders is a food justice club out of Falk. We're actually the first in the nation, and we're just trying to bring clarity, attention, and just get students to look at what food issues are here on campus and what they can do to improve the food that we do have here on campus.
So you said the term food justice. What exactly does that mean?
So it entails a lot of things. You'd look at the way that food is grown, where your food's coming from, whose hands it passes through, and kind of thinking about how you're voting with your dollar with every single bite that you take. So looking at, okay, can I get a CSA box and support a local farmer? What farmers am I supporting if I go to Wegmans or if I go to the farmer's market? And then who are the people that are going to be growing that food, whether it's an immigrant farmer, if it's just a poorly paid worker here that's an American citizen, or if it's somebody that's getting great treatment and benefits from working at the farm.
So you guys get very fine into who's producing the food that we're eating on campus, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the most unique things you've seen? We live in an area that can best be described as a frozen tundra for probably 6 months of the year. So what are some of the interesting things you've seen about how they grow and what types of food they are growing around this area?
So something that's really interesting is although we have a very short growing season, since we have all 4 seasons, we can grow really any type of food minus like citrus. So at the beginning of the summer, you know, you might get more like berries, tomatoes, and then as the summer and fall come on, you get more hardier vegetables like carrots or beets, Brussels sprouts, gourds.
So would you say a majority of our food comes from these local farmers that are within this geographic area?
I would say the food here on campus, not so much. We actually just opened a cafe in the Shine Dining Center. It's called Brain Feeders Cafe, and we worked with Syracuse Banana, a producer here locally in Syracuse, and we're amazed how few selections from the New York State upstate region he had. So we're trying to work with a couple of other farms, see what connections we can make, and get local food here in Syracuse's hands.
Well, that sounds great, and we really appreciate you coming down to speak with us, and we will be right back after this short break.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. We're going to get wet. All right, here we go.
You're good, thank you.
Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Don't think you know. Know you know.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Brexit, tea, and royals, that's what many think of when they think about London. Rachel Lockhart joins me to explain all that London has to offer. Thanks for being here, Rachel. So just tell me a little bit about when you went to London, why you decided to go.
Right, so I was in London last spring, and I knew I wanted to go since I was a freshman because I actually went in high school, and I was only there for 2 days, and it was not enough, so I knew I had to go back.
So you spent your semester there. What kind of things did you do? What was your favorite part about being there?
Wow, that's a loaded question. One of my favorite things about the experience was just being able to live with my friends in such a dynamic city. But there's always something to do, from the more touristy things like, the Great Wheel and all that. And then the more secluded markets, those are super fun. And then, of course, traveling to different countries while you're there.
So how long were you actually there for?
So I was there for the full semester, so mid-January to early May.
And if anyone had any questions about why they should pick London, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that it's one of the most diverse and, of course, dynamic cities, and the pace never stops. It's the real city that never sleeps. There are people up at all hours doing all sorts of things, and there's never a dull moment, honestly.
And where else did you travel to? I know you said you went around to different countries, so that's a big thing in study abroad too?
Yeah, so I hit about 8 or 9 different countries while I was there in Europe, and then I also got to go to Morocco, which was really cool, and I loved every single one.
All right, thank you so much for being here. It was great hearing about London. I'm sure so many people will want to go. And the favorite fast food chain Burger King played a little trick on their competitor McDonald's this past week. Stay with us to see just what happened.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Well, a Burger King in Queens has gotten into the Halloween spirit this year by dressing the restaurant up as you guessed it, a McDonald's.
Yeah, the fast food chain draped sheets over the entire building and spray painted the word McDonald's on it.
The prank also features a sign saying, "Just kidding, we still flame grill our burgers."
Looks like the ball is in McDonald's court to see if they will prank Burger King back. All right, and before we say goodbye, we want to take a look down memory lane.
Here are some of our hosts: Rebecca Thornburg, Mia Rossi,
Jeff,
Kayla. Oh, there I am.
Is that you?
Yeah,
so this was your costume?
So I was a pretty rump kid growing up. In the later years, so I kind of fit the Pooh Bear type. But yeah, this was me. My mom loved to make her own costumes, so I believe we made this one. Mom's here. You made this one, yeah? So this was a handmade costume.
Well, you look adorable.
Oh, thanks.
Great costume.
It happens.
And that's me, probably in first grade. You know, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be a singer, so it was the perfect costume.
I need that for blackmail.
That's awful. And that's all we have for Juice and Java today.
Make sure to follow CitrusTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all of the latest news.
And tune in next week for your 30-minute scoop of the week's juiciest stories.
For Juice and Java, I'm Jeff Slawson.
And I'm Kayla Spector. Have a safe Halloween, Syracuse.